We'll jump right in. The first point, build a great team. Build a great team. I tell people sometimes that's really all we do. Sure, we build buildings, but we're great at building a team. In the construction world, we hire the architects and engineers. We find the sound technology guys to partner with. Greg's one of them, Impact Technology. We partner with them on projects. And you build a great team. When you build that team, create an environment where all ideas can be heard. I like to tell our clients when we start a project, the table is truly round. All ideas are important. There's no head of the table. We bring people to the table, that we build a great team, and then all of those ideas are heard and all of them are valued. The first and foremost, have someone that has a heart for the ministry, that understands who you are, understands your DNA, your mission, your outreach. That's a valuable team member. You're going to hire experts, right? We tell people, we know how to build. Let us handle that part. Bring people they ask, who should we put on the team? Just bring people that understand your ministry, who know what your values are. We'll handle the building part. We need to hear from those people, their heart. They need to be ministry and outreach minded. When you build a great team, you can avoid things like, sometimes people, there's hidden agendas. Have you ever heard and seen that? And that's not good, because we have ferreted it out many times, where there's a hidden agenda, and that kind of sabotages the whole process, what you're trying to accomplish. And then pick trusted partners. Like if you're looking for a new sound system, you're going to hire a good partner like Impact Technology, and trust them with their expertise, right? I think about, we're doing a 1,200 seat auditorium near Charlotte right now, and we're leading that team, and we have an audiovisual team on board, and we come to the issue about acoustics. This is a large room, and so acoustics, right? The sound is going to bounce around, and right now they don't want a ceiling, which helps acoustically, and they want a hard surface on the floor, and all of a sudden we're like, this is going to be tough. So we're talking to the AVL team, and we're bringing them on board, and we're saying, hey, we need to cut down how many decibels you think. And we're talking, having these conversations. They're giving us input. We trust them in their input. And the solution that came out was, let's ballast the roof. That's where rock is on the roof surface. You know what I'm talking about? As a construction term. Did you know that a ballasted roof cuts decibels by about 35 decibels? Just that one treatment. The weight of it, and it deadens that roof. And so the sound, it helps that sound not to bounce around. So that decision came out of a good team, right? Trusting them, hearing them, that they run sound models, and they say, J.H. Batten, Peninsula Baptist Church, you're going to have an issue right here. We didn't say, we'll address that later, whatever. No, we trust them as an expert and say, hey, what practical solutions can we bring to the table to mitigate this? Moving along, the second thing, after you've built that great team, I say encourage healthy friction. Proverbs 27, what does it say? Iron sharpens iron. It sounds almost cliche, but you know what? It's true, right? It's God's word, right? So it's true. And so you encourage healthy friction. What does that mean practically? Just a couple notes here. I'm not saying, go into every meeting looking to create conflict or friction. I'm not saying that. Don't go in there like, oh, I got to create some friction tonight. No. But when it comes up, when there's disagreements, encourage that. It's okay. It's okay. I need to open my mind. I need to listen to someone else's perspective. To listen, even though you might disagree, but listen, hear that idea, and have a team where you have that confidence in each other that you can challenge thoughts and ideas, and that healthy friction will churn and create something pretty awesome. With our own company, I think, we got a guy named Chuck. He was going to be here today, but didn't get to come. He's our controller. He's black and white. He's an accountant, okay? And I think about our president, David Batten. He's like this eternal optimist entrepreneur, right? And I'm somewhere in the middle. And as a leadership team in our company, that's good, because we have three different perspectives. We're constantly challenging each other. And usually when we three kick something around, the best idea will usually rise to the top. Point number 3, the last point, is trust the process. Trust the process. So we have a process that we lead churches through. It starts out with pre-construction. Like we come in and listen. Like where's your pain at? Start processing maybe how to solve some of that pain. We look at facilities. We look at maybe a piece of property, and we have a set process that we lead a church through. And pre-construction, then you go into design and engineering, and then you go into the build. Okay, and that's a set process. We trust that process. Early on in the pre-construction process, when we're first meeting with a church and listening to their ideas and vision, say they want to upgrade their sound system or their lighting or whatever, we start listening, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, can we have some answers like 2 weeks? 2 weeks? Can we have something next week?" We can, but let's follow the process. Let's don't shortcut ourselves, right? Well, how long is it going to take? Well, let the process take what it takes. Let us have the appropriate amount of meetings. Let's not shortcut the process. What it does for you, what it renders for you is you have fewer surprises. When you work through it methodically, and when you you kind of kick the ideas around, and you're like you take and put the litmus test to all these ideas, and you challenge each other, and you work through this. When you work through that process, there's fewer surprises. There just are, because you've really vetted it out, right? You've challenged your ideas and thoughts, and the best ones have risen to the top. It also allows you to execute your project, your plan, a lot smoother, right? When you've talked it through, you look for the pitfalls. And then it also, the last one, which is very important, budget management. When you vet an idea out, when you put all the things on the table, you put it all on the whiteboard, and you filter it down, and you boil it down, and you understand the cost and understand what you're trying to accomplish, the budget control is so much better, right? The budget management. If you do shortcut it, you might miss those good ideas. You might miss some part or some piece. And I get it. We're all anxious, right? We want something, we're like an instant gratification culture, right? Here's some thoughts to consider. Build design says, well, everyone's buying X. Everyone's buying brand X components. We must need that too. The church can be copycat, right? We can just want to copy what everybody else is doing. So the build design says, oh, we got to go and buy this stuff. Design build says, hey, let's engage our trusted partner. Let them guide us through conversations about our wants, about our needs, about our capabilities, about the drawbacks, about the efficiencies, and about future growth potential. That's what design build says. And then let's go forward. Build design says, this is a good one. We see this one a lot. Hey, there's an old Food Line building available down the street. Hey, it's a good deal. Let's go ahead and put an offer in on that thing. Let's lease it before it gets gone. Design build says, hold on a second. Let's work together and understand the feasibility of what that facility can and cannot do for us. Did you know that a Food Line building, while it might seem like a big building, a big open space, you understand grocery stores very rarely have enough heat and air for a church, like a third of what it really needs. What does a grocery store not have that churches need a lot of? Bathrooms. Where are you going to get those at? They cost money. Life safety. Usually a grocery store, there's the front door and that's about it, maybe a back door. Churches, assembly, A3 assembly, you're getting a lot of people that have to get out in an emergency. You got to add a lot more doors and exits. So build design says, let's lease that building. That's exactly what we need. It's big enough. Design build says, let's look at some feasibility. Let's set a team, and let's look at the feasibility of that facility, if it's going to work for us or not. And then cost, right? Cost. It's a sacred ask for a pastor to get up and say, give to our building fund. So we better be sure that what we're asking to give toward is a really well thought out plan or idea, right? Build design says, hey, we need a new building, we need a new sound system, lighting package, whatever it is, we need it now. Let's hurry up. We needed it yesterday. Let's present that to the church. Let's say, hey, church, we're going to get X. We're going to get this. So now give. Let's get it out there so they can be given toward it. Get people excited about it. Design Build says, hey, let's work together first as leaders and as a team. Let's determine what the pain is. Let's work through a process to find real, feasible solutions to present to the congregation, maybe even phasing, because you understand, like, you toss something out there to the congregation, what you could be tossing out there is the proverbial carrot on the stick that they'll never be able to reach. It might be such a big vision, if it hasn't been vetted out or thought through or talked about, they might not ever reach it. And what's that going to do? That's going to discourage. People can generally get behind a well thought out plan. You get up there and say, church, we have got this team together. We have taken 3 months or 6 months and we worked through this. We've looked at all avenues. We've had the best ideas rise to the top. This is our next best step. It's going to cost this. We have studied it. We know we can afford this. We need you to give. That's a whole lot different conversation than, hey, y'all give. We're thinking about doing something. Not sure what it is, but we're going to do something. Design Build thinks it through. And then ultimately, as a team, a plan that's been prayed over, right? That is Spirit-led. Every church has a different DNA, right? And I said it a minute ago, but too many times we meet with churches and they're like, oh, we need this huge lobby. We need a coffee. We need a cafe. Well, that's wonderful. If God's calling you to have a cafe, that's great. But just because church across the street has this awesome cafe doesn't mean you need a cafe. Don't do it because of that. If that's what God's calling you to minister and engage your people, your Jerusalem, that's wonderful. Let's make that happen. Let's figure out how to do that the best, wisest way. But don't just do it because somebody else is doing it. Find out what God is leading you and your congregation, how you're to minister to the people you're called to minister to.